Greetings. This is Elder Carlie Twone with AC Fun Time, and I have an international guest all the way from Trinidad, and the water bring 'em. I want to ask you a question. Who's Francis Moraine?
I am Francis Morin. I am from Trinidad and Tobago. I'm a botanist. I'm also a traditional healer. I have been manufacturing herbal products from indigenous herbs in Trinidad and Tobago for the last 35 years. I come from a family of traditional healers. Several generations of my ancestors were healers and midwives. And there are several things that brought me to Charleston, to Gullah Geechee country. One of these is my interest in the culture of the Gullah Geechee people. I'm particularly interested in looking at the survival of botanical traditions in the diaspora. In 2010, I paid a visit to Sierra Leone, and that more than anything else really got my interest going in terms of wanting to travel to South Carolina, to Georgia, and so on, to get a first-hand feel of what is happening here in the Gullah Geechee country. I've also been on Facebook looking on at what's happening in terms of the encroachment on the areas where the Gullah Geechee people have traditionally occupied. And I get a sense that, if I don't come now, I probably may miss an opportunity to really interact with some of the elders in the community who have lived that culture all their lives. Apart from that, I've also been involved in a project in Trinidad where I've been trying to encourage people to cultivate what we call hill rice or Creole rice or upland rice. There's a strong tradition of cultivation of rice in Trinidad among people of African descent, and that tradition goes back to West Africa. And it's all connected to what is happening here in terms of the tradition of rice cultivation from way back in the 18th century in South Carolina. Now in Trinidad it's a bit different. We grow the rice on dryland areas as distinct from the practice here of growing the rice in the swampy or marshy areas. However, the tradition in Trinidad was brought to Trinidad by a group of people who are known in Trinidad as the Americans. The Americans are, the original people called the Americans were what they call refugee soldiers from the War of 1812 between Great Britain and America. And after the war, those black Americans who fought on the side of the British, they were given the option to either settle in Nova Scotia or in the British West Indies. And close to 1,000 of them both soldiers and their wives and children settled in Trinidad and Tobago. The majority of these people, they settled in an area called Moruga. They were soldiers. They were settled in what are called companies. And the areas where they have settled have been known as First Company, Second Company, Third Company, and so on, based on the groups that came from North America. So these people, they came from various parts of North America. They came from Louisiana, Georgia. Some came from Florida. A large percentage came from the Chesapeake area. And the transit point in their journey from America to Trinidad was Bermuda in most cases. In some cases from Nova Scotia as well.
Wow. That is so interesting. It sounds like you were talking about the Gullah Geechee Nation, because it goes from Cape Fear, North Carolina, all the way to Jacksonville, Florida, and 30 to 35 miles inland. And plus, we have Gullah Geechees in Louisiana and New Orleans, and we have Gullah Geechees in the Bahamas and Bermuda. So it's just all family, right?
But I wouldn't be surprised if there are connections.
Yes.
I haven't been able to trace any actual connections in terms of particular families just yet. But, I spent some time last week at the Library of Congress. I've been going through a lot of old archival documents, looking at as much as whatever information I can get pertaining to these people. And at some stage, I'm hoping we can take it a bit further and actually establish direct linkages to particular families, if possible.
Yes.
In these areas.
Right. Wow. Well, you heard it right here on AC Funtime Superstar. We have an international guest, and this is just the beginning, because we are connecting, and I think maybe sometime you're going to bring some other people back here, right?
Yes, definitely. In fact, while I'm here, I'm putting posts on Facebook as to what I'm doing, and I have lots of friends who are interested, and lots of people in Trinidad are definitely interested. More so, the American community. There are several activities taking place right now to commemorate the arrival 200 years ago of these people. And one of the things I would like to do is to actually have a tour where people from the community can come to this region and interact and learn more about the culture in this area.
Well, just stay tuned for more interaction with the diaspora. This has been Elder Carlie Twone, and we are so excited about our international guest, Mr. Francis Maureen.